Should we get started?
Okay.
You ready to go?
Yeah.
This is a relaxed chair.
I like it more.
Tom Kristensen,
So ready to
the race car driver. I have watched.
parades up.
Yeah, I want to start off by sharing a story with you, if I could. You're all about Audi. So I had a second gen Audi R8 that I sold.
Yeah.
And
B10.
yes, Suzuka Gray.
The right color.
Yes, Suzuka Gray. Drove it all the Wisconsin winters, 24,000 miles. Drove it for 3 years or so. Loved it. Drove it everywhere. Sold it to somebody. They said, hey, I can't pay you the whole thing, but I have a Rolex that I'll put on collateral. And if I don't pay the full amount, you can keep the watch. So this is my Rolex.
Yeah.
He did not pay the full amount, and I don't have the Audi anymore. And that's the only introduction I could probably get to connect me with you as a Rolex ambassador, Audi race car connoisseur, Le Mans winner, pretty much all across the board.
I think that's a perfect introduction. And look, the history of that is what counts. And all the kilometers you did, of course, they stay deep in the soul.
Yeah.
And yeah, you were right on time. So everything works perfect.
Everybody's always like, where did you get it? Where did you get it? And it's almost like I have to tell them the bad story, that it didn't necessarily come from the greatest thing. But I did some research because my upbringing in the cars was always on like the tuner side of things. So Nissan, Toyota, Honda, Acura. And I know we were just talking a little bit about your time that you spent in Gotemba when you were over for Fuji, and kind of getting into, it was Formula 3?
Yeah, I raced everything in Japan. Actually, I stayed there for more or less 5 seasons.
Okay.
In total, the last 1.5 years, I just traveled forwards and backwards. But Japan is my fundament in my racing career.
Okay. Because I saw that you spent some time behind the wheel of a Nissan Skyline for a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Was that an R33 or an R34? Do you remember what year that was?
32, 33. It was 92 to 94. We won the final of the Group A, the Intertech 500.
Really?
Fuji Speedway.
With the R32 then?
Yeah.
Oh my
with
goodness.
me
The
and,
original Godzilla is what that was.
And that's in Sweden now, that chassis. That was a yellow with BP, British Petroleum, on it. But before I did the Axia Skyline, anyway, I did all cars in Japan. Front-wheel drive Toyota. I was Team Tom's Toyota in Formula 3.
Would that have been?
I did Formula Nippon with a couple of teams as well. I did all kinds of cars. I did the Supra later in the GT as well, 1 or 2 seasons. So I did it all there.
So obviously we know the Le Mans history, but I want to spend a little time in Japan, because that's really where it sounds like you cut your teeth into a lot of racing.
Yeah.
Out of all those platforms, which one taught you the most? Which one did you find yourself learning the most?
I mean, Japan learned the most. I mean, the circuits. Just thinking about the racing scene in Japan. A lot of good teams. You learn a lot when you have to communicate with people who only sort of speaks the local language. That takes a little bit of grit too. The circuits like the Suzuka, Fuji, Nishi, Sendai, Sugo, Autopolis, Tokachi, Tsukuba, and the test circuit and like Yamaguchi and Yamaha. There's quite a lot in that sense. I think the mixture of always just being open to whatever you're put into. So I joined as Formula 3 driver, I was German F3 champion, and I could get a salary driving in Japan, and I did that, and my mom was happy that I quit the day job as a bank clerk, which I got the education, because I had 3 years where I had absolutely no money to progress into the sport when I suddenly got going. But the mixture of driving 1 weekend in Formula 3, which sort of was the key, I had to be successful there. Then while I was there, why not driving in the Skyline? And in the following year, why not accept to drive in the Japanese Touring Car Championship, front-wheel drive, Toyota Carina. I think the first year was a Toyota Exit, what you probably haven't seen, but things like that. I think it's the key is you have to do everything as good as possible, and try to. I like the thing of being versatile, and you need to think a little bit about coming in the Skyline. I don't know, the weight, a lot of weight, a lot of boost, a lot of top speed. The braking point is pretty different. So when I mixed that season, I think braking points were the key to get right.
That's such a fun history because I was going back there and I'm like, wow, he's got all this experience at Le Mans, and I went back in time and I was looking at when Nissan brought back the Keep the Dreams Alive, the R33 in 1995 or 96.
Yeah.
And it's so fun to see that you're jumping into different cars. But I feel like the times that I've tried to jump into different cars, from open wheel to front wheel drive to rear wheel drive, how do you get up to the maximum capacity of that car when the layouts are so different for each car? Open wheel is so different from weight distribution to a front wheel drive car to a GTR to a Group A car.
It just takes a little bit of sensitivity. Just get a little time for yourself just before you enter these cars. I mean, just think a little bit. Just don't jump in.
Yep.
But then get to over the limit a little bit to begin with,
Okay.
and then it works from there. Of course, if you go in and you're too calm, you never get to the limit before it's too late. But you've been in Japan and you've seen the community. I love the community in Japan.
Very supportive.
Yeah.
Very supportive. They always want to help. It
Yeah.
seems like they want to see you do well. When I did my first racing over there, it was crazy how different the competition still feels. It's still competitive, but it's a different type of competition, it seems like.
Yeah, but they're also kind to us. They see us a little bit like the Gaijins in many ways. We come, experience, we have won, we have proved ourselves. Otherwise, we normally don't get into the country with contracts. But then they want to beat us.
Yeah.
So there is this lovely,
Healthy competition.
Healthy competition.
There was an interview with Max Verstappen did with Chris Harris recently with the new GTD, and he talked about how when he goes out onto a track, he tries to find the limit within 5 laps.
Because you need to learn to overdrive the car quite early, or the go-kart from starting in that sense, and especially. Nowadays, I would say some circuits, of modern circuits, you can even cut that down to 3 laps because you have no consequence going off. You probably just run behind the runoff or run behind the white line and you rejoin. And obviously, you'll get a penalty if the lap is out, but at least you are learning something a lot faster. You have the chance of going to the limit without the consequences, like I would say a proper circuit and sometimes the old school circuits, which I kind of liked.
The old school circuits.
I do like old school circuits.
Yeah, I know we're talking a little bit about the 90s, late 90s, Formula One, really finding the balance in the car. But there's different drivers, and I've always asked people this because I always feel most confident in a settled car. I love the way when the suspension is set and everything feels right, it's dialed in. And I feel like I can do a lot with a car through corners and trail braking, and I feel like I'm a little bit better in trail braking than others. And then you go and you talk to other people that are way better race car drivers, and Max will say that he loves a really sharp turning car. He likes really twitchy cars. When you've gone through all the cars that you've raced and all the series that you've done, where do you really hang your technical driving hat on? What's the thing that you really feel like you've got a good handle for, regardless of the car that you're driving?
No, but it is a bit like that. Of course, you rotate a car better in terms of making it pointy, which is probably heading in that direction, but you don't want to wear or tear the rear too much. It shouldn't be too light at the rear in terms of helping the rotating by sliding, because then you will be in a sliding moment when you need the traction. And there the suspension, which you want it to settle well. But when you have a settle well on a car which has a lot of aerodynamics, that means that when it settles well, it will move. And when it moves, you just go into the ground effect cars you have today. When it moves, you have to correct it, and the car becomes unsettled in that sense too. I think you have the aspect of the perfect car depends as well on the track. But certainly a car which understeers is a slow car.
Did you have I feel like I'm going to know the answer when I ask this, but I feel obligated to ask. What is Tom's go-to race car? I know you have 7 tracks, 7 race cars, 7 of everything, but if you had to put it on one, what would it be?
I would probably say, as you can say, where I had most success is sports cars. If you look at the total of that, and I love sports cars of the way that they are ultra fast, the top speeds flirting with 350. You're driving night and day, any weather. So you certainly have the power. You also have the aerodynamic. You have very fast corners where the car can be nailed to the circuit if it's not too bumpy. But then you also have the slow corners where you feel a little bit of the inertia of slowed a little bit down from a Formula car, which is a single-seater, which is lighter. So you have a little bit of where you need that suspension. Probably you will like that too, because you will get it settled and you can use
I feel like you
the
can
grip
carve into it a little bit.
Yeah, and you use that grip to get a proper traction when the turbo kicks in, and you just release it, and you're gaining lap times.
There's such a thing to say about going 300 or 320 kilometers an hour. And in July, I actually went out on a hot lap when I was at Le Mans, and it was in a Porsche.
Ah, good.
And I was sitting in the passenger seat.
On the full circuit.
Full circuit.
Good, yeah.
And we're on the Mulsanne Straight, going to the first chicane.
Yeah.
And I look to my left, and it's 307 kilometers an hour. And feeling him press that brake, and your whole body just feels like it wants to come
just
over.
Just before 100 meter in the GT.
And you're doing it for 24 hours. That car is doing it for 24 hours. That's insane.
Yeah, it's not the top speed. It's a breaking point to get it right. And you obviously, what a little bit of the secret is on the straight, also in the earlier days where we could gamble a little bit on fuel consumption and think to get a lap more. All the things which you can't do today.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of good things. Yeah. So when you do that, you just lift off a little bit before you're getting in. So you lift off maybe around 150 meter, 140 meter, lift off, and then just coast for another 50 meters, and then you hit the brake hard and you turn in. And when you turn in, what do you do when you turn in? When you get into the apex, what do you do? What do you do with the brakes?
Oh, you let off?
Yeah, you trail brake, and you're the best at it. Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you go on again, and on the exit, you obviously can just let it come out, and you just let the car.
You're skirting all the way to the next one.
Exactly, with the front rear, not just the rear, because if you just do the rear,
front.
you're sliding the rear. So you have to get the whole car to do it. And then the whole name of it is that you have to make sure that you do it a little bit better next lap. That's all you want. You don't care about right now. It's the next lap, a little bit better. Then it's nice. And then you have the traffic, which you...
The traffic it scares me when I'm next to it in normal everyday traffic, and then on a racetrack it's 10 times worse.
It comes to you, it's a challenge.
Yep.
And when you do it better than others, it comes to you good. So you should always look at it with... Be calm and just get through it and just position yourself.
So I have one last question, and what it is for me is, over the last 10 years or so, a lot of my friends and a lot of people I know have really jumped into sim racing, simulation racing.
Yeah.
And when I think about it, in comparison to kart racing, if you didn't get into it when you were young, it kind of felt like the door was closed, over and done with. And sim racing seems to be coming out and providing a way for me to jump into a GT3 car and race with two of my friends for 24 hours at Daytona, at the beginning of the year. Have you ever found yourself watching or participating in the sim racing space, or seeing other people use it as a tool?
Yeah, under COVID we made a team, and I had to profile of some younger drivers. They helped me doing it, so it was like an electrified championship. Yeah. They were 1,000 horsepower, and they were racing there. So they did that, and sometimes I did it. I didn't race, but I did enjoy it.
Do you feel like it's a maybe not a complete substitute, but an option for people to get into racing?
No, it's a great add-on in many ways. I mean, you can say, I know a lot of people who were addicted to it. Young people, they say, that's all we were doing. I love that. It's all good. But I'm not that old that I didn't do it. So actually, at my first race at Spa, I was teammate with Jacques Villeneuve when he was in Japan. He was then doing his first race at Spa with Williams Formula 1, and I was there with Formula 3000 or Formula 2. And there was a journalist. He said, hey, you guys, it's first time. So like you, he will show his laptop. He just got the game. And this is probably 97, 96 or 97, long time ago. So there was a game where we could see the track. So we played, and we actually stayed playing in media center for a little less than an hour, and we both had pole position that year, and we were first time rookies at Spa, pole position Formula 1, pole position for F2. So I never underestimated in that sense. Then late in my career with Audi, we were doing a lot of sim work for the cars going forward. But I also have what it was the Gran Turismo, was in Jan Mardenburg.
Yep, Jan Mardenborough.
This thing, Mardenborough.
Yep.
Things like
Nissan.
that. To create a program from a very efficient and popular game, and then put it forward. That was also something which was cool. And then today you have the world champion in Formula One. Is using or spending all his spare time in the simulator as well, or if he's not in a race seat at Nürburgring or testing with his GT3 team, or driving Formula One. So it becomes positively addictive, and it is helpful, no doubt. But nothing substitutes the real world, and I think you can answer that better than I can.
Yeah, well, thank you, Tom. I appreciate it, sir. Truly. Wow. Thank you. That's it. Simple as that.
Simple as that.
And you've got an espresso waiting for you. A win's a win. A win's a win.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tom. I really appreciate it.
That's good, and good luck. I mean,
thank you.
I can see you take a little bit in to add to your...
Yeah.
That's good.
I try to learn as much as I can from people who have already gone through it. So if I can skip a step a little bit, that's always a win. Do you mind if we get a photo together? Is that okay?
And make sure the car runs as low as it can.
Always.
Yeah.